It's now the start of training camp 3 for the GB1 team.
Yeah, last couple of days now, so final push before we hit the Preliminary Regattas. Feeling good, nice to be sailing. Squad's doing well, and yeah, we're ready for it.
The team's enthusiasm means they're always focused on continuous improvement.
The pitch instability has been unstable since we've been sailing UK.
Feels like it's been unstable since we've been sailing here.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like it's got worse.
It's got worse, right.
Sailing their boat in Barcelona, which is a while ago, felt easier.
Much like a Formula One race car, these high-performance yachts need constant care and attention.
The biggest issue is that it has so many pieces that has to work perfectly and perfectly matched, that if there's any of these tiny parts that fails, the boat is not going to fly. From the most complex boats that I ever worked, this is like 3, 4, 5 steps on top of everything. So from my point of view as engineer, I love it. It's amazing how many things are involved on getting those boats flying. You're working any other kind of class or any other kind of boat that you could get involved is miles away of the technology of these boats. It's just you're just working with the best guys, with the best technology, just top performance.
Keeping a close eye on Camp 3 is GB1's team principal, Sir Ben Ainsley.
You have to have a look at our little setup.
It was going all right.
It's good. I mean, we're going to have some upgrades, hopefully by the end, where we'll have jib control for the helms.
Yeah.
So then we were tacking.
That's much more realistic.
Yeah, we were able to tack the other day, and we did some jibes. It's just slightly sketchy because no one's controlling the jib, and there's a lot of passing the pitch or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's been brilliant.
Joining sailors Dylan Fletcher, Bleddon Mon and Ben Cornish is Andrea Tesei.
A couple of weeks till this event.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about it? Where we at? We've got a good squad, and good to Andrea. Great to get you involved, and because you guys totally kicked our ass in the AC40s last time. So what are we doing wrong, mate?
We're trying to sort it out. Obviously, having a benchmark close to us always underlines. And
the Italian sailor brings experience of elite racing from his 2 previous America's Cup campaigns with Luna Rossa.
So yeah, we brought Andrea into the team about a month ago, and you know, I guess having someone from another team, you're always learning some new things, different ways to think about problems, and different ways to make the boat go faster.
It's always super interesting to get someone, particularly with the talent of Andrea, and not just on the water, but also technically, to come across from one of the top teams like Luna Rossa. They've been at the top end of the America's Cup for the last 30 years. So you always learn a huge amount. And he's integrated the team really well. Like I said, he's got the talent on and off the water, so we're very lucky to have him.
Yeah, I got involved with the team a month ago. It was mid-April. Once the protocol came out and allowed the teams to have some foreigners on the sailing team, I just told him I was free for the campaign, and he was you could actually fit in well with our team, and that started pretty quickly after that. We are mapped well for the straight line with the rudder gain. Yeah, but it's not enough.
We're absolutely thrilled. We took a pretty big punt. I mean, literally never met him when we kind of committed to him and him to us. So both of us made a pretty big commitment, and I couldn't be more pleased with how it's working out at this stage.
Okay, this is the race. Get this slingshot going.
Got eyes on hand?
I've got eyes on.
Stand by dive.
Okay, can we get set for another barroway?
As the team continue to train in the AC40, back in the UK, design is underway on the team's AC75, the big boat.
I have spent 30 years getting out of bed in the morning to make boats go faster. It still excites me. So I run the design team. I love competition engineering. I love the fact we use the finest engineering tools that money can buy that come out of the aerospace industry, and we apply them to something and then maximise the performance of that boat through to the racing environment. And in that sense, for me, this is an art form. We put so much effort into something that's just such a cool thing to look at and work on and be a part of.
In the journey to the 38th America's Cup in July 2027, the GB1 crew will predominantly train in the AC40, a one-design boat used for the preliminary regattas as well as the Youth and Women's America's Cup. For the Challenger Selection Series and the Cup match itself, the team will race in the AC75. In 2024, the AC75 had 8 crew, 2 helms, 2 trimmers and 4 cyclors. For 2027, the cyclors have been eliminated. Operating the trimming and systems on board will now be entirely done with battery power running hydraulic pumps. This leaves a crew of 5 with a 6th cockpit for a guest racer. Despite these changes, the teams will reuse an existing hull from the 37th America's Cup.
The design and build of the boat is roughly half the budget of the campaign. So the AC75 is the first class in the America's Cup that was expressly designed to be a foiling boat. And because of the speeds you're doing when you're foiling, the kind of the windage, much lower windage of a monohull, very, very fast boats. And so designed for efficiency, designed for power, remarkable.
Back in Sardinia, rookies Ryan Littlechild and Finn Dickinson have settled in with the team. Finn has been working closely with the crew and has even experienced an AC40 capsize. But will he or Ryan have enough experience to race in the first regatta?
New to all this stuff.
Pardon?
New to all this stuff.
Yeah, it's so good.
Don't have any of this sort of sailing days. It's always a little bit nervous when you see those kind of like big rainstorms coming through or whatnot. But yeah, it's good. In good hands.
Yeah, look, I think Finn and Ryan have done a great job coming into the team. They're, youngsters, got a huge amount of talent. First time really being involved with a team of this scale and boats of this scale. They've got the talent, they've got the skill, they've got the personality. It's just taken that time to integrate with the team, understand the technical aspects of these boats and getting time on the water.
The thing with Finn is that this is just the early stages. I think it was always incredibly ambitious to think that he might be helming in this first event, and it sort of became apparent when we started our in-house racing that whilst he'd done a fantastic job of getting to grips with the boats, actually when you go racing, the communication and the details, we just simply didn't have the time to get him where he needed to be for this first event. So we just need to get through these events and then look forward to reintroducing him and being able to really invest in him for the future.
The GB1 crew for the Cagliari Preliminary Regatta is confirmed as Dylan Fletcher. Returning as helm for GB1, he's an Olympic champion, an America's Cup finalist and Sail GP winner. He remains one of the most accomplished helms in world sailing. Ben Cornish steps into the second helm role after previously powering the team as a cyclor in the last America's Cup campaign. Bledden Mon returns as trimmer, blending technical expertise with elite racing instinct. Andrea Tesei joins GB1 as trimmer, moving over from fellow challengers Luna Rossa. For the Athena Pathway team, team principal Hannah Mills has made her selection.
We've narrowed down and chosen the crew for the prelims, which is pretty exciting.
This is big news. So what's the squad look like?
So it's been interesting putting Ellie Aldridge into the helm spot. It's been a really positive move, so we're going to have me and Ellie driving. And then the trimmers, with the rule change coming into effect for the youth age, we've got Matt Beck back trimming, who did the last cup. And then finally we've chosen Sam Webb, who is a really young up-and-coming sailor who's doing a phenomenal job and just really getting stuck in. It's getting you good.
Okay, so you've just made that decision. You've got a couple of weeks now to really sort of bed that in.
Yep.
Get out racing against the GB1 squad and get around the racetrack and get those communication skills going and all the rest of it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The APP team for the first regatta are double Olympic gold medalist Hannah Mills. Returning as helm for the Athena Pathway women's team, Hannah is determined to go one better after finishing runner-up in the last Women's America's Cup. Olympic kite foiling champion Ellie Aldridge steps up into the helm role, bringing fearless speed and foiling talent after serving as a reserve sailor in the last Women's America's Cup. The two trimmers are 20-year-old Sam Webb, after excelling through the Athena Pathway Trialist programme, and Matt Beck. Following a recent age rule change for the Youth America's Cup, Matt returns to the trimmer role he held during APP's podium-finishing Youth America's Cup campaign.
The opportunity to race an America's Cup event, it means a lot. Like, I always thought it was going to be Olympic sailing, go down that avenue, and then you might have the chance to race in this kind of event.
But actually with the youth program at the moment, such an exciting time for young people, and to be given this opportunity means a lot.
The Preliminary Regatta in May 2026 turns up the pressure for both GB1 and Athena Pathway teams.
I'm excited about the Prelim Regatta. I think it's been a while since a fantastic America's Cup in Barcelona in 24. And now getting the teams back together, we've got some new teams coming in. Won't all be racing in the Prelim Regatta, but we'll have 8 AC40s on the start line.
Winning the prelim is not going to be a good indication of who's going to win the America's Cup. For us, it's part of a process. There'll also be probably a sort of mismatch a little bit in how well prepared some of the boats are, because it's a question of how you want to allocate your resources. And ultimately, we've got to compete in an AC75, not an AC40.
It's always tricky for the first event because no one's really been sailing together. Obviously there's a lot of good teams. There's no slow teams out there. And New Zealand and Italy have put a lot of time in over the last year, so you'd expect them to be going pretty well. I guess we're playing catch up a little bit, but the training's been really good with APP. So we'll see.
We are obviously trying to tune in as quickly as we can in the AC40. As well, we are trying to develop manual flight and stuff that is going to be useful for the big boats. So yeah, racing scenario in the one design class, and then developing what we can for the prototype boat.
Okay, let's start going around the race course.
Racing upwind. Copy. They're just going to try and pinch us out here, I think.
Okay, you're going to take rudder off your buds.
Happy to parallel line here.
We're rolling them. Rolling them.
Nice, good pressure all the way.
Yep.
Nice speed as well, have to work it down.